This kid's fire.
What's that? What's that, brother? What's that? What's that, brother? Brother, what's that, brother? What's that? What's that, brother? Brother, what's that? What's that, brother? What's that? What's that, brother? Brother, what's that, brother? What's that? What's that, brother? Brother,
Yes, guys, welcome back to another stream. Hopefully, you guys are all doing well, man. Please make sure you drop the like, hit that like button rapid straight off of the rip. Over 200 people already locked in. Make sure you guys smash the like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. Get your comments in the live chat as well. If you're watching back on replay, make sure you let us know your thoughts down below. Hopefully, you guys are all well. Tone, how you doing, man? Thanks for joining.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Yeah, I'm really good. And yourself?
Yeah, I'm all good. But I, honestly, just a quick one for the chat. Yeah, I was going to do a watch along yesterday, and I was going to do a Foden show. But I'm going to be real with you, man. I was in a foul mood yesterday, bro. I was in a bad mood yesterday. And you know what it is, Tone? When you're in a bad mood, you know when you wake up on the wrong side of the bed, the best thing to do is just not do anything, innit? You know what I mean? So I just thought, I'm not going to bring my negative energy to the stream and ruin someone else's day when they want to. So I just decided to cancel everything. That's the truth. I did actually jump on Martin. By the time I got home, I went on Martin's channel and I was all right last night, wasn't I, Martin? But I was, by the time that time, it was like 11 o'clock. I was all right. You know what I mean?
Come on, Martin, tell me. LB was in a mood when he ruined the show.
You know what I mean? If I speak. No. What it was, LB was in the chat having a bit of putting his views across. So he invited him on and he you know, jumped up like a rat up a drain pipe. He was straight in. Right, I'm having him.
Yeah.
No, it was good.
How are you, Martin? You all right, mate?
Yeah, not bad. Any news?
I believe that we're looking at selling another academy player. No, so before we start, no one could call it clickbait because I put in capital letters rumor at the start, right? So I don't want to see no
allegedly.
Allegedly, yeah. If you say the word allegedly, then you can say whatever you want, apparently. This is something
you know what the Mancunian way was last night. It was all about the word allegedly.
Yeah, that's it, guys. I don't know if you guys knew this in the chat yet, but if you can say whatever you want, you can make any accusation you want, but so long as you say the word allegedly before you say it or after, then it's fine. Anyway, we're gonna get into it. There's been a lot of talk on the FFP charges and that it's looking favourable for Manchester City. And usually I wouldn't really do, because you know my thoughts on this. I prefer just to wait for the outcome. But there has been we have to speak about it because there's been so much news, and I think given what Galassi said last week as well, about the fact that he's super confident of the outcome and he's a board member. I think it is right to sort of it is right to do this. What the hell is in the chat?
I was laughing at him like, well, you got to be careful now. When you said put whatever you want,
I know. Well, this is the thing. So long as you say the word allegedly, man. Honestly, I am the most handsome man in the world. Allegedly.
Well, I don't know, because Pat's just been sacked.
Huh?
Pat's been sacked.
Allegedly, or he's actually been sacked.
Oh, they say, look, best City channel on YouTube, allegedly. You know, just stab his own channel in the back there. Why don't
Yeah,
I?
but he said allegedly. He said allegedly. So you can't sack him for that. If you sack him from the Mancunian way, he's got grounds for unfair dismissal because you said allegedly.
I'm a dictator anyway. He knows that. I'm a dictator. Allegedly.
Yeah. Allegedly. Right, let's have a little bit of a recap then. Over like last week, we had the news come out from Galassi. Is he called Galassi? Is that how you say his name? Galassi, Man City board.
Galassi or Galassi. It's one of the two now.
Yeah. So this is a board member. He's a board member basically for the City Football Group, and he's been interviewed last week. I'm just saying. I know a lot of you guys in the chat know this. I'm just recapping for people that don't. So bear with me. So basically, he was being interviewed last week. Not about City, but then they did obviously throw the question in about the charges, and he said, as you can tell by sort of like his attitude, he was super confident of the charges. So that got me like, oh, that's pretty mad, you know what I mean? For a board, because we've not really heard anything since the news dropped and we had Karl speak about it. Obviously, City have been basically silent about the whole thing. That was the first time, really, for a long time that we've heard anyone related to Manchester City speak about the charges, and he said he's super confident. So that's obviously got everyone like a bit excited and thought, oh, that's, you know, he's not going to say super confident if he's not super confident. You know what I mean? And then there's been a little bit of murmurings over the last week or so about maybe the Premier League. And by the way, Hugh in the chat, if you want to jump on, send me a message. You can jump on the panel. I don't know if you want to come on, bro. I don't want to spam everyone with the links, but if you want to come on, ask me. Yeah, there was a bit of murmurings going on in this last week that essentially the Premier League's case is not looking very strong at all, and that they're working with Manchester City for a potential exit strategy. Now, again, this is just all rumours. So if we get banned from the Premier League tomorrow, yeah, this is just rumours, yeah. And then today, on Blue Moon, someone put out something, and again, you got to take it with a pinch of salt. But the reason why I think it's interesting is because of the fact that this is what was said like last week or something. So I don't know, Martin, you spoke to me about this. I don't know if we spoke about it on air, off air, but like, what's your take on this? I will bring up the photo in a minute, but what's your take on this news that's or these rumours that are coming out? Do you think there's any truth into them at all? And how do you think City fans should take them? Should we be wary of them because we don't want to get ourselves too excited to be then binned? Like, or do you think now we should believe it, especially with what Galassi said last week? Like, what's your take on it, bro?
Whoa. I mean, but by the way, no pressure there. By the way, what I say now don't mean don't go and start parties and barbecues, etc. I fully believe it. It's something I've been told is the problem was always going to be was they never had the evidence for what they charged City for. And this is the point everyone's made. Nobody's, and I think you said this bang on. The media have done a poor job, but the media never wanted to put the truth out. They wanted to spin it in a very different way. So they've got themselves to blame. There are people right now who believe this is about overspending on a few players. So they've never fully understood it or gone down the road. For the simple fact is, some of them never even understood what FFP was even about and what they were voting for. And that includes clubs. And their board members didn't include what they were doing, some of them. They were just following the Pied Piper down the road. And, you know, but to me, they've never had the evidence. I think it's 100% true. And what I believe and what I've been told for a very long time is City will be innocent or they'll be cleared. And because do you know what it is with me? It was when we started doing further, when we started getting Joey, Kellogg's, signing all this, carrying. What business? Because listen, they always when you go into courts or legal or whatever, you get some kind of indication beforehand of what's coming down the road. I've never seen a business continue to grow, expand, make more money, and then 8 months later get told, sorry, you're off down to League One. You're done. Because Kellogg's, Joey, have got, I mean, especially Joey, we're talking huge companies. They will do their due diligence the first thing they're going to ask when they come into any kind of sponsorship, oh, by the way, is that true? Because then their name goes tarnishing. Omar Barada's gone to United, whether people like this or not. Omar Barada was part of all this. His name is on documents. Why would United get him? Jason Wilcox, gone to United. People don't just take guilty parties and move them over to another place. You're still guilty just because you moved. When all this was going on, it didn't make sense. And it all came to me of the Premier League don't know what to do. They've played poker. They've gone all in on a complete and utter bluff, and they don't know how to get out of it. And what's made it worse for the Premier League is City have never stopped or come down from anything. They've never wanted to do plea bargains. They've gone, we are going to prove our innocence. And I don't think the Premier League were expecting that. I think they were hoping there was going to be some sort of plea bargain going down the road.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. And as well, did they expect City to sort of like be as aggressive as they have been in defending it? You know, maybe the Premier League just wanted City to hand over loads of stuff, and City were like, no, because these investigations, as we all know, are on the back of hacked emails, which City say are taken out of context. So it's certainly interesting, and like I say, obviously it's all rumours at the moment. We don't know, and like I say, we can only take this with a pinch of salt, in my opinion. But I mean, if City do get cleared innocent on this, or probably worse for the Premier League, if this does end up, if this rumour, which I'll bring up on screen in a second, guys, I just want to try and get the original poster so I can give them credit. If they are looking for an exit strategy and it essentially the case gets dropped, I mean, where does this leave? Where does this leave the league, Tone? I mean, you've got basically every fan in. I mean, even look at this. I mean, you've got a Sunderland fan here. You've got every single fan in the country believing that City are guilty because of the constant noise and the constant wave of attacks on the club from the media and from pundits. I mean, where do we go from here? Where does City go from here? Where does the City brand go from here? Where does the Premier League go from here? I mean, where does FFP go from here?
Well, if cleared, and that is an if, because you have touched on it, but just to be clear, this is speculation. People take a lot of this as word, and there's positive word and all that. It is speculation. So I'm just saying that from the outset. But at the Premier League, if City are cleared of this, and when I say cleared of this, I mean the main charges, time, stuff and all that crap, don't care, not interested about all that nonsense. Yeah, good man, Geordie team. Just the Premier League being complete tatters. Richard Masters may as well just walk out the same day. He doesn't even need to give his notice. Just walk out the door. I don't think people realise how much damage the Premier League will have had if City are cleared, and City from there. And I know they've been allegedly sending out letters to all kinds of people. I know everyone's favourite Forest fan has apparently had one, and all the rest of it. So City may go down that route a little and start threatening people, but I don't think they'll go particularly after the Premier League for anything after. I wouldn't have thought. I think they may have already have sent the stuff out, just warning people about their future conduct and saying we're guilty, because you will get that side, by the way. No matter what happens with the result of City, you will have large factions who will still say, oh, City cheat, 115, oh yeah, it's brown envelope, all that nonsense. That will never change. No matter what people say or do, you will always get that from people all around who will continue that talk anyway. But to answer your question, the Premier League, if City are cleared, are cooked. I just don't know where they go with the integrity, the name of the league, everyone involved in this case and at the league. The teams who have allegedly, again, pushed for it, like Arsenal and United, the ones pushing Richard Masters and the clan to go after City, where do they go? But I'll be honest, LB, I think the large the large majority, the majority of the people that have gone for City and find us guilty anyway will do no matter what the result. So whatever the result is, it's sort of irrelevant in their eyes because that will never change. Even if they come out and say City are absolutely clear, no problem at all. They are 100% innocent. It's all proven. In those eyes, they've made their mind up because they believe what they want to believe. But for the Premier League, yeah, they're done. If City are cleared, I don't know if they'll have to relabel, start again. I don't know, but they are done.
Yeah. Well, when you say relabel, start again, do you mean what? Do you mean like restart the charges again, or?
No, sorry. I mean like relabel the Premier League because the Premier League, if they lose this after going for a club, and it's not just one or two little bits and bobs like it is perhaps with other clubs. This has been going on years. We've been through CAS and allegedly, and on very good word this, by the way, the Premier League offered City a deal which City refused. I know that speculation's been out. We've been on this show about that before. So they've had the chance to and tried to find a way out already, again, allegedly. So if the Premier League lose, I just don't see how they can continue under the Premier League with the current people. So what I mean by that is relabeling is essentially not restarting the league, but rebranding it and so on and starting again and making sure it's public that Richard Masters and the others are out the door and it's made known that they've cleaned house. We start afresh. And I just meant renaming
Can
it.
I just jump in on that, though? I want to ask because I'm a bit... Because listen, I understand Richard Masters may not be the greatest person in the world, but this has come from the other clubs.
Yeah.
And this is the part, it's the clubs who own the league. Masters is not the owner of the league. Masters is just like the manager.
So you're saying he's a puppet then?
Yeah, basically. He always has been. Because the Premier League is a private members club. Like when you go, it's like when you go to your local golf establishment and you have a committee or a supporters club and have a committee. You've got the chairman and everyone else that goes down. That's what Masters is, just the chairman, the appointed chairman. It's the other 19 plus City members that push Masters to charge us. This is what I said. It was never really Masters who charged us. It was the other clubs. You notice Pep's never had a go at Masters. It's had a go at the other clubs. They're the ones who charge us.
That doesn't mean that Richard Masters shouldn't stand up for like what he should do his job.
He has no power over the other clubs. The clubs are his boss.
Well, you know what I'd do then? I'd resign.
You could resign 100%. To me, this has been pushed through by the 5 clubs that we know about. It's the 5 main clubs that have pushed this: United, Arsenal, Spurs, Liverpool, etc. It's them who pushed this. Because isn't it weird how you look at the 9 clubs who Pep Guardiola named, how many of them have been done for points deduction?
I see what you're saying, and the Premier League vote with the 14 clubs or whatever it is, but this is slightly different. I think Richard Masters has got, he has to take some responsibility for it, even if he's just the I can't think of the word, but even if he's not involved per se, he still has to take some responsibility for it because it's his league. He's the man at the top or near the top. I don't know if there's people above him, but he's the figurehead. So he has to take some responsibility if this falls apart, because I don't believe for a second he isn't involved in some way in this case. And in these cases, usually the top bod is for it if it falls apart.
What's interesting is if you remember back when these charges first got dropped, I remember Stefan Borson, who's obviously the guy who goes on TalkSport. He does a lot of other news stuff because he knows what he's talking about when it comes to club finances. And he said at the time that he was surprised and thought it might be a bit of a mistake that the Premier League went so strong with everything. Like, if you want to nail someone, keep it short, keep it sweet, and go for something that you know that you 100% can get them on. Whereas, like, they've gone in big and they've gone for us for fraud. So you've got this is what and Martin alluded to at the start of this stream. This is what I've been saying for a long time. Is that if they're charging us for fraud, which is essentially kind of what they're doing, because they're saying that Sheikh Mansour's been putting money in, you need to prove that. It's up to the Premier League to prove it. And you know what's crazy? When I look through the comment, whenever I do a video, right, and I mention that, you know how many comments I get from like rival fans disputing that's the correct thing. Like, it's almost as if like they're so biased and they're so like, and they'll say, well, you're biased. Of course I'm biased, but I've also sat here and said, and I still maintain to this day that I don't know whether we're guilty or not guilty. I'm going to wait for the judgment. And I've said that from day one. So, you know, you can sound biased, but that's my opinion. At the end of the day, if you're alleging a football club, of committing fraud, then you need to prove that they committed. You can't just go around saying you've done that. Like, you've got to prove it. Do you get me? So if they prove it, then 100%, in my opinion, like, you broke the rules, and the outcome will be the outcome, and there'll be no complaining from me there. But you know, it sounds like the evidence that they're going to need is crazy. They need evidence to show that Sheikh Mansour put money into Etihad Airways. By the way, they're also looking to. This is another thing that got me sort of more confident. They're also looking to do an IPO on the stock markets. Now, when you do that, because I've read about it, when you do that, you've got to release all your previous financial statements. So again, would a company that's been involved in fraud really look to do an IPO? I
don't forget KPMG, Deloitte. It's not just sitting books. They've got to get into now. It's not going to a legal court, so they can't subpoena Etihad and Deloitte and KP. We're not talking Maggie's down the road who's going to make you a fish butty at the end of the day. We're talking world-renowned, the biggest auditors in the world.
Yeah, all in it.
You're not all in this conspiracy, and then Netflix got added into it. It's like, come on, you know, they're going to be. Honestly, I said this ages ago. They're going to be doing a documentary on this in 10 years. There's going to be a documentary on this because I seriously don't know where. It was just very weird. Remember, we got charged at the very same time the white paper was coming in. And we were one of the few that wanted the white paper.
Wasn't it like the day before or something like that?
Exactly. Yeah. The white paper should have been out on that Monday. We played Spurs, should have been out on the Monday. We voted for it. Oh, no, that's scrap now because they didn't want a white paper independent, this, that, and the other. Because the Premier League, because what the Premier League are scared of, especially the Uniteds, Liverpools, and Arsenals of this world, they're scared of losing power. And if they're run by somebody else or somebody else is looking through their work, they may not like what they get to see. Khaldun made a very, very... He did some about the irrefutable evidence. He also made something else that I look back now and I think was actually the most poignant thing in the whole thing. People in glass houses shouldn't throw stones. Don't do it. You go down this road, and then, funnily enough, while all this has come out, all these clubs have now been charged.
Yeah. No.
Wasn't 100%. Happening before all this came out.
Mm-hmm.
And Khaldun warned everyone, don't do it. Don't do, you know, Pep warned him, don't do it.
Well, they need to make sure they can get not guilty, then, isn't it? This is what I've said from day one.
Do you think these chief execs don't talk to each other?
Oh, of course.
No, 100%. They all discuss it, and of course they do. Of
course, they've got to. They've got to. 100%. Big up, Hugh. What's your take on all this? By the way, guys, I'm going to show you the tweet in a second, and then I'll go through the super chats as well. Big up, Hugh, man. What are you saying?
I'm good. It's been a quiet morning. Made a couple of friends this morning.
I applaud you, kid. Is it my mate Mark? My mate Brent. Which one? You want Brent or Mark?
Brent to cease and desist. Brent to cease and desist. That's where we're at, man. No, listen, like my stance has been the exact same since the day it broke. I remember I had to do a show, 2 shows the night it broke with the worst hangover of my life. And I said that night, I was like, listen, my club say they're innocent. Khaldoon has said we have irrefutable evidence, and so on and so forth. And, we followed the whole process since then. But my whole thing was, if us as City fans are happy to say, as LB's just said, we don't know if we're guilty or innocent. I'm not coming on here to say to you people, I believe Manchester City are innocent of anything. But if we're integral enough to say that we don't know the outcome, why is there so many content creators? Why is there so many journalists? Why is there so many large media platforms feel they have the divine right to do what's popular to the mass population? The most popular form of content over the last 12 months has had 115 in the title, the most popular form of content, and too many people with large platforms. It doesn't matter what I say, it doesn't matter what people like me with 5k 10k subs say, but people with big large platforms, 1.2 million, what 2 million, whatever, saying whatever they want. And then if it's true that City are sending out these statements or sending out these cease and desists or letters or whatever, I think it comes from a stance of confidence and a huge amount of optimism. So, you know what I'm saying? It's all right.
Yeah. No, 100%. I agree. Right, I'm going to show you this tweet, but before I do, big up to everyone that sent in the super chats. I'm going to show these first, and then we'll get the tweet up because I know a lot of people haven't seen it. I don't know the original post. I tried to look. It's someone on Facebook. I don't have Facebook, so unfortunately I can't see. But if anyone in the chat knows it, so we can just give some credit, then that'll be decent to let us know in the chat. Big up Al said, time for my transfer to LB channel to happen. Says Alan, mate, we'll get the lawyers on it, mate. We'll get the transfer fee paid to Mancunian way. I'm sure we can get those payment installations happy with Martin, and we'll get that done.
Trust me, you will need that lawyer on retainer. You think I'm kidding? You will need that lawyer on retainer.
He goes on to say, I'm suspended from the Mancunian way, but he's about to return. Oh, okay. There we go. Martin doesn't know anything about that, apparently. He also says, we've heard nothing from official sources, so not get carried away. No, 100%. And I keep reiterating this. I said at the start of the stream, I put rumour in the title. I keep saying it. I'm doing everything I can to let people know that this is just a rumour. Like, there's literally, I put it in the title, the first word, rumour. I said it at the start of the stream, rumour. Like, I'm doing everything I can to let people know that this is just a rumour. Okay, let's have a look what else people are saying. Dr. Footy with the 3 months says, Martin, Churchill save us. I saw the emails. We are Cup Bray Championship next season. King Clancy on loan from retirement home. Must go support Chelsea, says Dr. Footy. Zeno with the 8 months says they media and rivals want City to prove innocence, but the onus has always been on the Prem to prove guilt. It's always the way, mate. But again, when it comes to this case, for some reason, it's been turned, which is very strange. Big up to you. Big up to Akash as well. Says, lads, relax. The authorities are doing this for PR. It says Akash with a super chat. Big up to you, bro. Well, you want to say something on that, Tom?
Yeah, no, there seems to be this thing. I don't know if that's what they're going for, but there seems to be this thing that, well, they as in the Premier League and all those lot that are pushing for it, perhaps, have won anyway because the mud sticks and all that. But I don't agree with that, to be honest, because I think those people, as I sort of hinted at earlier, would say it anyway. So that's all I wanted to say on that. You will always have naysayers. It doesn't matter. When United were winning stuff, they had naysayers. City win stuff and talk about City because we're the best and win stuff. If we have a few off seasons and drop down a bit, the word will quieten. And then if we start winning stuff again, it'll pick up and it'll be something else. So, yeah, I just wanted to say that really, just on the mud sticking.
Okay, big up to Prodigal. Says, whether it's point deduction when where was the point deduction when United broke FFP under Ragnick? It was just 10 mil fine, but smaller clubs got point deduction. Where's the equality in that? I guess that's because United was UEFA, wasn't it? And the others were the Premier League. That's the reason. Whether that's right or whether that's fair, that's up for you to make a debate about. I'll be up to James as well. Says, Foden's the footballer of the year. Well deserved. Rodri needs a PR. He actually does, bro. James, you're actually spot on, man. The guy's behind Rice in the Football Writers Association. Yeah. Bro, I'm not being funny. I don't mean that as a dig to Rice, but Rodri's like should be up there for Ballon d'Or, and he came behind Rice. Like, you're absolutely spot on, James. Like, Rodri needs a brand new PR team. And
Buddy Shaw won the women's WA as well.
Nice,
brilliant,
nice.
And if Rodri played for Real Madrid, he would have won the Ballon d'Or, and he would again this year. I think. It's my
Is that confirmed that Foden's the Football Writer Association Football of the
Yeah,
Year?
yeah.
I haven't even
Yeah.
seen that. Ah, big up Phil Foden. Okay, well done.
Yeah, he won it this morning.
Do you know what it is with Rodra? You know what it is for me with Rodra? Because he's so good every single season, I think it's always it's like man of the match. No one gives Rodri man of the match anymore because everyone looks at a 9 out of 10 Rodri performance now as the norm.
Yeah.
And if you look at a man of the match, it's generally someone who does something a bit more, goes levels above than what they normally do.
Yeah.
And I think you look at Foden, we have all been saying it's his best ever season. Look what he's been doing. He's smashing numbers.
Yeah.
Well, Rodri's basically just doing what he has been doing. So no, and I don't know. It's really unfair on Rodri. Absolutely not fair because we judge him at such a damn high standard. We're at 9. It's like we're at 9 out of 10 continuously. So he's never going to get man of the match. He's never going to get any kind of awards because he's just like so damn good. Rodri's a player you look back on in 10 years and go, "What a player! Wow."
He's also not a highlight reel.
He's a victim of his own performances, Rodri. He's just a victim of how good and how consistent he's been. Do you know what I mean? That's where we're at now. It's that people just get used to it. That's just what Rodri does. And it's not just Rodri. There's so many players that don't get the appreciation of Manchester City. Ake, Kanji, these kind of players. Vardiol recently, where they play really, really well and they deserve praise, but they won't get it because everyone's like, well, they play for City. It's kind of just what they do. Do you know what I mean? It's not that special, which is
spot on.
Totally not fair.
Yeah.
In fact, also... Sorry.
Go on. Oh yeah, I was just going to say I listened to the City Report podcast you did with Amos, and that's what you guys discussed on there as well. And I was like, yeah, that's actually spot on, man. Sorry, Tom, what was you saying, mate?
That's what I was just saying. That Rodri, he's not a highlight reel either. What he does is, he's not going to be on the YouTube highlight type stuff because of what he does. Haaland, Foden will be on there and people like that. He's consistently brilliant, but he's not that type of player that. Do you know what I mean? Like he's banging bloody worldies in and all this sort of stuff in an attacking sense. And unfortunately, that is what a lot of people look to. How many times do we watch a game where a player has been piss poor, scores an absolute screamer and gets a 9 out of 10? It happens all the bloody... In fact, there was one recently happen. Yeah.
That's why I hate stats. I hate stats.
Yeah, same.
A certain belly goal is probably the best example of that.
Exactly. It's that
correct.
Haaland in the Manchester derby, he had was generally piss poor, but he scored a goal and suddenly gets like an 8 on SofaScore, and you're like, "How's he got an 8? How? I've got ties. He was crap for 89 minutes. 90 minutes scored his goal, great." And this is what I've got. Bruno Fernandes does it. How does Bruno get away with some of his stats? Like, you're shit. How are you getting away with this? I've got eyes.
He gets a 1 out of 10
for 75 minutes, made one pass, 9 out of 10. What for? Damn you. Stats have got a lot to answer for me.
It's 0 out of 10 for his captaincy skills, that's for sure.
You know what website you'll like, Martin? You'll like go on a website called FB Ref. Honestly, it's got nothing to do with stats, bro. It's just pure factual opinions on football. FB Ref, you'll love it, mate. Yeah, that's what you need to do.
Get on it.
You'll honestly, that is genuinely the website for you. Right, let's have a look at this this post again. Just rumours. I can't give credit to the original person because I'm not on Facebook. I think it's something like Man City Main Road account, but I can't read it because I can't scroll in. So if anyone can let me know who it is who's posted this, I'll happily give them the credit. But I've just got this off Twitter and it doesn't have the original poster. And there's no point in me giving credit to it.
Was it off Facebook? I thought it was on Blue Moon.
But someone got it off of Facebook and then put it on Blue Moon.
Right.
It's been passed around. You know what I mean? So that's where we're at. Anyway, let me read out the thing. Again, just rumours. Make of it what you will. It says this. It says, I'll start by making it clear that the following post is not based on confirmed fact. However, the source from within the club, which this post is based on, has said things in the past that panned out exactly the way he said it would, including managerial appointments, transfers, and UEFA cash conclusion. So City have successfully cleared their name before Murray Rosen KC and his independent commission panel appointed by the Premier League, which I didn't think it had even started yet. But apparently this is what they're saying. The charges have again failed to stand up to scrutiny. City are now working with the Premier League to decide and implement the best exit strategy for the shitstorm that will unfold once the official announcement is made. With other clubs already punished and millions of football fans around the world wholeheartedly expecting this process to be a formality with a view to City facing the music, it's not going to go down well at all. Both Etihad Stadium security and the security of the Premier League's head office in central London are being reviewed and bolstered in anticipation of the fallout. In addition to these ongoing plans, City have prepared multiple legal proceedings against various individuals and organisations, not just limited to the UK, who have been deemed to assert City is guilty before due process is concluded. The Premier League must now lie in the hole that it's dug for itself. They had the opportunity to stop what they were doing when UEFA failed at CAS and they didn't. They had the opportunity to stop when City refused offer of a settlement and they didn't. Why they didn't is likely part of the bigger picture that involves other clubs within the league and their overreach of power and influence over the years. I urge you now to buy popcorn while it's in stock, Blues. The scenes will be biblical. Now, again, I just say it's a rumor, but what are your guys' thoughts on that? The first thing that I would say is, what's this about? I thought that this hasn't even happened yet. They've successfully cleared their name before Murray, Rose, and Casey and his independent commission panel.
You got told. You never got a date.
Yeah, we never knew when it was going to happen.
You never knew. And I got told by someone a long time ago, they will hear the case, but you will never know when they've heard the case.
It could have happened 2 months ago.
It could have already happened.
Right.
Because if you notice, Masters has been very clever with his wording. Every time he's been asked, he's always gone, "We'll have news in due course. We'll have an update." He's never said the case will be heard in a few months. That came from the papers. That came from media. It was all guesswork. When you look at the actual quotes, there was nothing about the case.
Yeah, also ties up with the letters going out, allegedly. So it sort of all roughly times out. Now, whether I don't know who sent that in, so I don't know if it's accurate or not, but word is building around various people, some reliable people and so on. So it just all seems to be coming together at the same sort of time, I think.
Yeah, there's a lot of coincidences. Definitely a lot of coincidences where you see what Galassi or Galassi said last week. What was it? You can tell by my body language. He said I'm feeling confident, or so what's the actual quote? I don't
super confident. I am super confident.
Yeah, I didn't want to misquote. He said super confident, and then these letters come out, and then this comes out. It does give the vibe once again that allegedly it might have come to a conclusion, and that the exit strategy is.
There was others on Twitter as well last week who were big people who said this had already been done. There was already rumours last week that there was news coming on this.
Yeah, and there's also ex-player. Martin knows it. There's ex-player who's involved with the club still that he's been passing some, nothing confirmed, but word around.
That was about a year ago. There was quite confident. That was I know you, and that was about at Leeds supporters branch.
That's right. Yeah, but there's another one since it's sometime in March that was saying sort of something similar, but a bit more along the lines of confidence is high. Extreme confidence, I think, was the quotation that was sent out.
Yeah, well, this is what I mean. It's interesting that like over the last 2 weeks, all this pro City stuff is coming out, and obviously it's looking pretty good. But I don't know, man. I just don't want to be getting too giddy, man, because I just this is why I've just had my position from day one that I just kind of want to wait. But I can't lie, these last 2 weeks have made me think that, like, surely this guy, this Galassi, who's on the City board, wouldn't have said that. Because obviously City must know, like, what's going on. Like, City obviously must know, like, if they've got a good chance of winning it. He's going to look like a complete idiot, this guy, isn't he? This Galassi guy. If he said last week, I am super confident on the outcome, and then we get cooked in 6 months, I'm going to be going, hey, bro, what are you doing, man?
I don't think he gets 6 months. I'll be honest with you, but the way I look upon it is, I always look upon something of, it's like a player rumour. If it's said by one journal, you're like, yeah, that's guesswork. Then you hear it from 2. Then you get 3. Then you get 4. Then you get 5, and you're like, right, that's been put out by the media. There's
What's
5
the saying? There's no smoke without fire.
Yeah,
there's no smoke without fire.
And there's too much happening now in the space. When we're not even in a week, we're at 3 days, and we've now had 4 separate things coming out, and that is telling me everyone is preparing for this now.
Yeah, don't
I'll be honest,
downplay it.
I'm 100%. I will say it. I think we're 100% in the clear. Goodbye. Premier League. Kiss my ass. See ya.
God, LB, don't downplay it, mate. I bought 115 bottles of champagne.
Yeah,
in my
I'm
big
having it.
Samsung
We are
fridge.
clear. Don
I'm ready
Perrier
to
around
go.
my house.
Yeah,
But
Yeah,
it's not just Galassi that you'll be turning around and going, "What the hell were you saying that for?" There's going to be a lot of people with egg on their face if it goes south for us. Do you know what I mean? Like Manchester United Football Club, the whole football club. Why did you hire Barada? Why did you not do your due diligence? Why did you not do your background checks? Why did you not see how interlinked this guy is and what this guy could possibly have coming for him? So why did you hire this guy to run your football club if you know he's gonna have this coming to him? So a lot of people could be left with egg on their face.
You know what's interesting is whenever someone makes like a view or opinion on why City might like be innocent or why we might get found not guilty or whatever, there's always like a but to quote Lee Gunner. It's always like but. Oh, Omar Barada, he was at Manchester City during these allegations, and now he's joined Manchester United. That's probably a good sign. And then United fans go, yeah, but that he wasn't part of the thing. Okay, go on his LinkedIn account. It says he was dealing with sponsorships the whole time. Yeah, it says sponsorship. The guy literally was part of sponsorships. His name's all over it. He was part of the board, man. You don't get away with that sort of stuff. Yeah,
he was very integral in the Alvarez deal, so don't like sit there going, I did nothing, mate.
That's what I'm saying. It's just like people always do this. People always say that like whenever someone says something positive about like City in these cases about why they might get found not guilty or what, you know, even not even saying they are innocent, just saying why they might get found not guilty, you still always get a but it's proper fucking weird, man. It's like people
like Mo doing that stuff when he does
people,
that.
honestly, bro, some people are so invested in City getting found guilty. If City do get found like not guilty or this case does get scrapped or whatever,
that's the only way they can beat us,
bro. There's gonna be tears, man. There's gonna be tears, bro.
No, because
honestly,
think of it this way: when we get cleared, I'm saying it, when we get cleared, then no other club can come back with anything. This is it. Game over then. This is why Caldoon said we welcome this because there is no more then. No more excuses for your club being shit. No more excuses for your club being run badly. No more excuses for being poor in the transfer market. Just accept City. You've kicked your ass for 6 years and you took it in like a good little boy and accepted it. No more excuses. Excuse.com is over from them now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
no, I agree. Go on, Tom.
No, just sort of echoing really what Martin said. But the thing is, like I said earlier, you'll always get then the brown envelope brigade, and whoever else will jump out. So you know, there'll always be some that will say, "Oh well, they're guilty anyway, paid off so and so," which they know is bollocks, but they'll throw it out anyway, mate. So I wouldn't worry about those lot. But yeah, bring it on. It's going to be party time. Sorry, you go.
No, it will be. It will. Well, we will party time if we get found not guilty. I want to bring up some of Karl Doon's comments that he spoke about in the past, just to sort of remind ourselves what he's been saying. Big up to LB as well. Said Goldfish thinking he's hard, saying 115 to Hugh. he tweeted Hugh and just put 115 because Hugh called him out. So big up Hugh for calling him out, bro. Okay, so let's. This is. Khaldoon Al Mubarak, so obviously our chairman. This is what he said after the treble. So he said this. He says we're going through the legal process. I'm sorry, guys. I don't know if you guys can see this properly, but he says these are proceedings that take whatever time they take, and when we're done, we'll have a conversation. I'll give you my very blunt views. I promise that. So he's saying once this is over, he's going to give us his blunt views, and he promises us he's going to give us his blunt views, right? I have very strong views on, and again, this goes back to what I've been saying since his charges drops. City fans are not just going to accept a little statement saying, "Oh, we're all done now. We're all mates. We're going to go." No. You need to cook, mate. And that's what he's saying he's going to do here. He says, "I have very strong views on it, but I'm going to be unfortunately very restrained today, obviously because there's a legal process ongoing. I understand that. Whilst it's frustrating as City fans, we want him to talk. We want us to tell us what's going on. We've also got to, be grown up about the situation and know that there's a legal process. He can't speak." He says, "Of course, I mean, it's very frustrating because it takes so much from the great work that's happening at this club, and it's happening not just on the football pitch. The football pitch, we talked about that. What these players have achieved this year, the treble, is incredible." He says, "I hope people focus and judge them for their football, what they're achieving on the pitch, and what they're achieving in every competition they're in. That's reality." And then he says, "The club as a whole is very well run today. Today, the value of this group is over $6 billion. We've created so much value. We've brought in world-class investors. Why? Because we have a commercial machine here that is one of the best in the world. Our executives are being targeted by the best teams in the world always. By the way, that's a credit to us." And then obviously Omar ended up joining Manchester United, so obviously they knew this was going to happen. And then he keeps on speaking about it. But yeah, the actual bit there that you want to see is this bit here. He's saying that once these charges are done, once we get the outcome, basically he's saying that he's going to cook in it. Again, I just look at this and think, bro, you can't be found guilty, mate. Because if you get found guilty, you're going to look like a bit of an idiot as well. Galassi will look like an idiot, standing there saying, "As you can tell by my body language, I'm very confident." This guy coming out saying, "I'm going to cook," basically. "Once this is all over, I'm going to give you my very blunt views." What's he going to say? I just look at this and say, man, I think that
you have to believe him, man. You have to believe him.
Of course you do.
You have to believe him. I mean,
Trust
like,
the
look,
club.
this is no fella running a corner shop. Do you know what I mean? This guy is an extremely accomplished businessman, really high up in the economics of the world. Way more business ventures than just Manchester City and the CFG. You know, we're talking like Middle East. He's really high up in the economics of the world over there. Extremely accomplished guy. You think he would risk his whole livelihood and whole reputation, everything he's done with himself, on this? You think he would fight it this hard only for it to come back and shoot him completely down? No, I don't believe he would. I really don't believe he would. I trust what he says, and I trust his statements.
Trust the club. Always trust the club.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to trust them until they give you reason not to. And the reason not to was if they get found guilty, then that's then the reason not to trust them, because then you'll be sit there going, "Well, hang on a minute, you told us that we're going to be fine. You told us that when this is over, you're going to cook, and now we're playing in League Two. So what's going on?"
But his whole reputation is cooked. Then his whole reputation, his whole image, like Khaldoon Al Mubarak, is ruined if this goes tits up. Like absolutely ruined. I can't imagine he would leverage this and risk this.
No, definitely not. I can't wait. I love Khaldoon's end of season interview. Just imagine if it coincides with being found not guilty or cleared or whatever you want to say. My God, that'll break all records. That interview.
Yeah, no, 100%, 100%. Big up to Piplup, says, "Hello lads, hope you're well." Hugh hates Goldbridge, says Piplup with the 2. Big up to you,
You know
bro.
what, Piplup? Me and Piplup have this ongoing thing with everybody and everything I mention. Piplup says I hate them, and I always say he's wrong, but in this case, he's not.
It's kind of crazy, man. Yeah, I mean, do you guys have anything else? Anyone in the chat? Anyone in the chat have any questions for the panel? Myself about?
Can I put one thing
stuff?
towards you guys? Just to you guys, I just want to get your general opinions, because I'm getting it a lot recently when I do open my mouth about charges and about legalities and that kind of thing. I met with the same argument, and that is, how can you really believe Manchester City Football Club made more money on X and Y year than Manchester United, than Liverpool Football Club, than this, that? Do you really believe? I say, yeah, I do. Because I don't think we're as inferior to you as you seem to believe. So I want to gather a few opinions and thoughts on that argument from you guys.
Yeah, I don't think it's ridiculous. Honestly, I don't. At the end of the day, this club is going deep in the Premier League every year. It's going deep in the Champions League every year. Yeah, it's growing at an exponential rate. It's being backed with the best players and the best manager. At the end of the day, if you're a brand, you want to be associated with the best club, and the club that can give your club the most exposure. And City can guarantee you exposure. You know, they can They can obviously tie in deals with the other clubs in the group and all that kind of stuff as well. I just don't think it's ridiculous. People make it out like it's a mad thing. Yeah, it's not. City have been the most successful club in the last decade in this Premier League. Yeah, since Pep Guardiola came in, it's been unbelievable. So I just find it almost a bit arrogant of people to just think that you can that United will just always have a monopoly. Like, that's just not how it works, man. I just don't think that's how it works personally. So
yeah, and clubs grow. Manchester United weren't the powerhouse they were before the Premier League. People forget that. The reason Manchester United won everything early and Ferguson won everything and they made all this money and bloody these crappy singles that they used to do is because of the investment at that time when the Premier League come live, and then Chelsea and Arsenal and so on. But City have invested, but they've invested well. Manchester United have invested a ton of money, but on crap, on and off the pitch. We didn't spend 100 million on Anthony, or 90 million or whatever. I mean, we could go on for bloody days about the transfers and so on, and Chelsea and all that. But it's, like you said, City have been the best team, certainly in England, for the last decade. Why wouldn't we have the highest revenue and sponsorship deals? And of course, we're going to have the highest money from the Champions League and Premier League because we're the bloody best ones in it. And we will continue to grow because of the people who run the club are the best people. It's arguments raised by Liverpool, Man United fans to excuse their failures. Certainly United, in my view.
Yeah, spot on. It's lazy argument. They say you haven't done this. We have won. We've been the most successful club, as everyone has said, for 10 years plus. We're the only football team to have a sponsor for a women's stadium. Our own women's stadium has a sponsor, which is phenomenal within itself. You only ever hear about sponsors. It's like people talk about the sponsors only from Abu Dhabi. PlayStation is a sponsor. Sony is a sponsor. Shaw is a sponsor. Nexon Tires, Nissan. We ain't talking little small companies, Kellogg's. But you never heard about them because it doesn't suit the narrative. City have gone deep in the Champions League. By the way, I think aren't we the only club who's qualified for the Champions League at 10, 11, 12 years on the bounce?
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
You get money for that every single time you go in it.
Yeah.
Remember, we've never had a year out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And now we get to the semi-finals and the final on a consistent basis. This season has been our worst performance in the Champions League for about 5 years.
Yeah, we're phenomenal on and off the pitch. And there's a reason why Liverpool and Man United are pinching our staff, because we're the best. And that's just my view.
No, 100%. And like, Omar Barada, if he was, this guy was someone who was dealing with the sponsorships, right? Now, if all those sponsorships were fake, then why would United hire him? Because it'd be like, well, you can't, if they're all fake and obviously they're all just for City because it's going through Shape and Sword, then that's not going to help us. They obviously trust him, you know what I mean? This Jim Ratcliffe guy's not an idiot. So, to answer the question, Hugh, I just think it's like, and as the game gets more global, I just think that people and legacy clubs, the big clubs of the past, they lose a little bit of that grip that they had, in my opinion. I think it's only going to get worse for them. I really, really do. I think it's only going to get worse for them. I think you see Newcastle, and people will make all sorts. These allegations will come to Newcastle soon. Mark my words. Mark my words. These same and look at the way that they try to stop Newcastle do everything. Look at all the stuff that Newcastle have had to go through already. The guys have already owned him for 18 months, and they're already having to go through all this stuff. They're already trying to stop him signing Ruben Neves on loan and stop him. And why? Because they're scared. They're scared of that they've lost control. This is what I'm saying about the Premier League. I actually think that in time, like in the next decade, I actually think the Premier League will get to a point where this control that Liverpool, United had on all these kind of clubs, they won't have it anymore because that's gone. The top four's gone. Yeah, you remember it was just the top four? which, by the way, it used to be it's so weird, right? This is how you know people are weird. When it was the top 4, when I was growing up, it was the top 4. Yeah, 4 clubs getting the Champions League every year. And that apparently was mad exciting. Now you've got different clubs qualifying for the Champions League. You've got Chelsea mudded. You've got United mudded. Apparently, this is now boring. It's a boring league. It's not a boring league. It's just that they're these fans of these clubs, yeah, and these PR merchants for these old top 4 teams, because now they're not doing well, they want to just spin the narrative that the league's boring and that we need to change everything. And it's actually a little bit sad, really, that I'll bring up the tweet in a sec, guys. It's a little bit sad, actually, really, that there's a lot of fans still of these other clubs that are not, that basically, you know, that these fans of other clubs don't wake up and see that they're just being mugged off. Right, there's some news dropped by Mike Keegan. Interesting timing, given the fact we're doing this stream. I don't know if Manchester City are watching this stream, but if you are, hi everyone at City watching this on the official. You know what I mean? Big up to you guys. I know they like to tune in from time to time to see what we're all saying. You know what I mean? Lower the season ticket prices, man. Right. Mike Keegan, a rumour suggesting Man City's 115 charges have already been dropped are not true, according to Mike Keegan. So this has obviously been briefed. This has obviously been briefed from the club to Mike Keegan. So there we go. I mean, they was always going to deny it, weren't they? They're not going to come out and say it's been dropped. And like I said, this is just a rumour. I've made that statement a number of times during this watch along. So I'm not getting too giddy about it. I'm not getting too excited about it. I'm still going to wait for the official announcement of what happens. But at the end of the day, I've shown you guys the comments from Karl Mubarak when this thing popped off. Shown you the comments from Galassi a week ago. A week ago, this is what he's saying. At the end of the day, one or two things is going to happen here. Yeah, we're going to be found not guilty, in which case the board members that have told us to chill and told us that they're going to speak once this is all done are going to be vindicated and that we'll be happy and stuff, or we'll get found guilty and that these board members are going to get cooked off the fans because they've been saying stuff that basically has been leading us down the wrong path. Yeah. So there we go. Anyone want to comment on this tweet?
I don't think anyone's saying it. Well, not that I've seen that formally the charges have been dropped. I think it's just speculation that I think is that the word is positive and it's going our way. So I don't really know what Mike Keegan's, unless I've misread something.
It's probably my comment. Sorry, Mike. It's my comment.
Yeah.
This is a watertight process. Do you know what I mean? It's not going to get leaked to newspapers like that. This will only really come to a conclusion with a bomba statement from the Premier League. That's when you're going to get a conclusion. Any updates that come from journalists, from anybody, they're all going to be the same, really, until something major happens. So
that doesn't surprise me that that's come out.
No.
Is the club will brief that to Mike Keegan because the club don't want it to be announced in that way.
Also,
look at the wording of it, the Premier League.
Just quickly, though, Martin, just quickly as well. This could all be BS, and this could just be complete nonsense.
Well, it could. Listen, it could. But
we've talked about the positive. We've got to talk about the fact that this could be complete nonsense, and we might still get found.
It could. I'm going to give him my personal belief because I'm looking at everything that's come out in the last few days, and like you said, there's no smoke without fire. There's too much info coming out. And for me, I'm just saying my personal opinion. I think we are allegedly. I think we are allegedly innocent. All right, we'll go with that one. But if it is going to be announced, of course it's going to be done that way because the Premier League and City want to do it in the correct manner at the right time. And I'll tell you when I think you'll find out whether this is true once the Premier League's concluded.
I've got one, LB. Manchester Iconic, they're a really good account. They say
they're fantastic, guys.
Yeah, they're brilliant. Rumours that YouTuber Mark Goldbridge has been sent a cease and desist by Manchester City are not true, says Fraz Fletcher. I have no idea who that is. But I just thought I just saw it on my phone pop up. So I just wanted to pass that on.
Yeah,
if it wasn't true, right? I mean, listen, it's Mark Goldbridge, mate. Do you know what made me laugh with the Mark Goldbridge? You made it obvious without making it obvious. That's what made me laugh with it. He made it so obvious. Oh, it was weird. I don't know. It was weird with the way he did it.
Well, there's a lot of people saying that this has happened. Whether he got sent one, we don't know. Obviously, no one truly knows. But there's a lot of people saying City have started sending out these letters. But again, you know what I mean? Like, it might just all be BS. And this is kind of why, like, I try not to get too excited or for anything, man, because at the end of the day, we don't know. And as people have said, I've seen someone say it. At the end of the day, the only thing that we can properly go off is when that official bomber statement drops, and then we'll know. That's the truth.
Who do you reckon drops it? The Premier League or the FA? Or the Premier League or Manchester City?
Premier League. Premier League will drop it, and then City will comment on it.
Yeah.
But again, another thing, it's like, would City really do all this stadium stuff if they thought they was going to get kicked out of the league?
Yeah, because Everton went ahead with them, didn't they?
Also, players that join, Haaland and Gvardiol and all these top players, would they join if there was any suspicion of, oh, by the way, you might be playing 3 or 4 leagues lower next
I'd imagine, though, Tone, that there will be there's stuff written into the contract.
Definitely.
Possibly, yeah.
Because this is what I've said to people before. If I'm Musiala, right, and I'm his agent, I'm going to say to City, right, well, what happens if you get kicked out of the league? Oh, we're not going to get. Yeah, but what happens if you do? I want something in my contract to say Musiala can leave Manchester City on a free or for a reduced fee, like whatever the agent demands. Like that's how, if I was an agent, that's how I do it. If I had a client, a footballer, and they wanted to sign for City, I'd say, yeah, no problem, but we're having a clause in the contract to say, first of all, if we do get relegated and my client, my football player, is not allowed to leave because no one wants to buy him, then his wages don't get docked. Yeah, he can stay on the same wages, and if he wants to leave, he can leave for free, or he wants to leave at a really, really reduced fee. So I don't think that's an issue. Let me have a look at some of these super chats, man. Big up to Prodigal, says Karl was representing the UAE in the G20 in India. He's no more. No mere chairman. He's leading the trade corridor from India to the UK to USA. Yeah, bro, the guy's on everything, man. Yeah, I mean, I literally, whenever I turn the F1 on in Abu Dhabi, he's there. He's the guy does everything. So again, reputationally, this would be not good for him or shit, man. So Darcy says, what does exit strategy mean here? Or I just joined. That basically the rumor going around is that like the case is all falling apart and the Premier League and City are working together to sort of like, how did they get out of this without just saying, yeah, the case is falling apart, lads. Sorry, we had no evidence. We should never have charged City. So to make it look a bit like not that bad. That's the rumor. Whether it's true or not, again, we don't know. Big up Piplup as well. Says congrats to Bunny and Foden. Bunny is a baller. Yeah, absolutely. She just had the surgery as well, so get well soon. Big up to E Inc. Says they genuinely believe ticket sales is everything. 100%. And I've said actually ticket sales should be capped on FFP. You shouldn't be allowed to use ticket sales to the extent that you can on FFP because it just pressures clubs into raising the ticket prices. Cap it at 30 quid a ticket. United will still get the benefit for having a bigger stadium, but then they're not incentivized to increase the ticket prices as much because it doesn't make a difference to the PSR. Built to Blue City.
Sorry, go on.
Go on,
Matt. No, I was going to go on. Carry on. I'll come to it in a minute.
Okay. Big up to Blue City Brain. Guys, make sure you're following him on Twitter as well. Hopefully we're going to get a show, me and Blue City Brain, when he's available, but he's in Australia, so it can be difficult. Says your average football fan doesn't understand how commercial income works. That's why commercial income follows success. I guess that's in response to the question that Hugh asked before. Big up to Irrational. Says, y'all discussed Foden yet? I am late. We've not really. It depends how much time the lads have got. We can maybe discuss it if they've got time. I don't know. We'll come to it in a second. And big up to Ali, says, look at City Extra's recent post. I guess that's the one about Mike, Ali, that we just shared. So, yeah, appreciate you letting us know. Go on.
No, I was just going to talk about how Edison's superhuman.
Edison, did you say that my thing cut then? Oh, mate, he's unbelievable.
2 days ago, he was out for the season. Yeah, he might be playing Saturday.
Yeah.
Does the guy made the lead?
I've never known a player.
It's not human, is it?
Surely that's another charge.
Yeah. Well, that'll be it, Hugh. It'll be they're injecting him with something, and that'll be 116.
I don't.
Like Liverpool's
He's like
inhalers.
Superman. The guy's
Yeah.
made of pure lead that just does not get injured. At
Yeah.
Newcastle, he had a bullet wound in his damn thigh, the side or whatever. And he's like, "No, I'm all right, lads. Strap me up." This one, he's sort of like ripped half his leg apart, and he's out for the whole season. Oh,
No,
his
his
back,
arm fell off.
yeah, his back,
Little
his back's
fella.
sat there. Well,
Yeah,
I don't know how he does it. He's
he's
I-
full
I-
training as well.
I
It's
want
mad.
what Edison's on.
Yeah, it might be the inhalers though, like Hugh just said, Liverpool ones.
He's crazy though, Edison, isn't he? Even you only have to watch the way he plays to know that the guy he's missing screws up there. Do you know what I mean? Like the guy.
I don't think he gives a shit about
No.
anything. I don't care. I don't mean he doesn't care we don't win, but I don't think he's that bothered. I think he just turns up, rocks up like we would to a park and just goes, fuck it, let's just go. I love him.
Yeah, 100%. People wanted to speak about Foden. I don't know if you guys maybe got 5 minutes. Are you guys good for 5?
Yeah.
Let's speak about Foden then, because a lot of people wanted to speak about actual football, which is a good idea. Phil Foden today has won the Football Writers Association Player of the Year award, which is obviously fantastic news. You guys, what's your view on this? Because I have Foden and Rodri like neck and neck at the moment for my Player of the Year for Manchester City. I think I've got Foden just ahead of Rodri, but like by the finest of margins. Do you guys agree, or have any of you guys got Rodri above Foden? Because I know a lot of people in the chat have got Rodri above Foden, but what's your guys' take on City's Player of the Year?
I have Foden, and I have Foden for sure. I think the job Foden has had to do this season was absolutely huge. Like if you think back to the beginning of the season, everyone was like, "This is the season that Phil Foden needs to, lay a marker on this team, stamp his authority, and become a main man." He's not only done that; he's stood up in periods where the chief creator and Kevin De Bruyne has been out for 5-6 months. Erling Haaland's been out for 2 months, 2.5 months. Jack Grealish has been out at times. Doku's been out at times. The one constant in that attacking complement of players has been Phil Foden, and the one constant in that attack and complement of players is Phil Foden performing consistently. He's upped his G&A levels. He's taken on a leadership role. He's bared the weight of the responsibility, and he's just stamped a marker on world football and basically said, anybody that doubted me, when I was 21, 22 kind of thing, could I be a main man of the City team? I've just proved you all wrong. Derbies, Champions League games, crucial moments. Phil Foden he's absolutely been. This is Phil Foden's announcement season to world football, that I am exactly what everyone thought I was going to be. So I think he fully deserves it, man. The responsibility he's had to take on is more so than he probably expected through injuries.
Before Hugh started talking, I was going to say Rodri. But I'll be honest, that when you said about Haaland being out and De Bruyne being out and so on, it's a massive, massive thing. It's neck and neck. I just wonder where City would be if Rodri was out. Like if Foden's out, I think we have players. Okay, Foden. I'm not discrediting Foden in any shape or form. Okay, but when I say this, I know I'm going to get hammered by a few anyway. But we have other players, maybe not to that level and form. But if Rodri's out, where would we be in the league if he hadn't played this season to where we would be if Foden hadn't? Rodri's just consistently brilliant. I would still edge Rodri, but I'm completely on board with what Hugh's saying. And it's like a 51-49 thing. They're both phenomenal. They're both brilliant. And either way, they deserve it. But I would just say Rodri purely for the fact that he turns up, he plays every game, every 3 days. He's always brilliant. And without him, we would most certainly not be in a title race. And that argument could be used. That part of the argument could be used with Foden as well.
Oh, 100%. I mean, I'm the other way. I'm 51% Foden, 49% Rodri. So, I think it is. I think it's really, really close. But
Yeah, it's very close.
Well, the one thing that I would say is Foden stepped up in the, when we had no Kevin De Bruyne first half of the season. Yeah, we had no Kevin De Bruyne. He was the guy that led us, and he's done so well. Even when Kevin De Bruyne's come back, he's smashed it. However, the counter argument is, well, Rodri's doing that all season because there's no one else that can play in the Rodri position. So it's very, very difficult. And when we come to have our player sort of end of season like awards situation, I think them two are going to be very, very close. They almost deserve a shared one, but you can't do that. You got to give someone. I don't know, Martin. Where are you? Where you at with it?
Yeah. Like I said earlier, the trouble is Rodri's too good, and it just goes under the radar. He goes massively, but very much like Busquets, Iniestas. I mean, they're all talked about now. It was always Messi won it at the time, and they just went under the radar. And the phenomenal players. Rodri to me is the best CDM in world football.
Mm-hmm.
And do you know what it was? It's a weird one. It's like, remember when Aki was phenomenal last season?
Yeah.
And Haaland won it.
Mm-hmm.
And we all went, you know what, Aki should have really. Because a lot of people voted for Aki. But because Haaland smashed everything, he was going to get it. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of the same this year. Foden is smashing everything. The best season ever. So he's going to get it. But Rodri's like the Ake of last season, where he's just consistently been our general who's done it all. So I think Foden will get the award, probably rightfully so, but Rodri to us will always be the guy. He's always going to be the guy. If Rodri flops last season or had a drop off, we'd be more shocked than maybe Phil having a drop off from this season.
I agree.
If that makes, I don't mean Foden next year. If
it does.
Foden doesn't carry this on, you're not going, oh, that's that doesn't surprise me. If Rodri dropped off from this, you'd be like, wow.
Yeah, I would also be fucked if that happened as well, by the way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Maybe we wouldn't be if we get an actual DM in the summer. Yeah, no, 100%. Listen, lads, we'll get it wrapped up now. Big up to everyone in the chat. Big up to Hugh for joining. Big up to Martin. Big up to Tone. Luke was meant to be on, but he fell asleep, guys. So he's missed a great show. He's just sent a message in the chat saying he fell asleep, man. So no problem. Big up to Briggsy. All links there, guys, as you can see. You can follow Tone on Twitter at MCFC Tone. Hugh's channel, HMTV. And Mancunian Way as well. You guys know where to follow these guys. I'll be back on More LB 4:30 for a Wolves preview. And then I'll probably do another stream tonight as well at around 9. So make sure you join me tonight. 4:30, More LB. I've got a Wolves fan coming on. We're going to do a Wolves preview. And then about 9 p.m, we're back on the main channel. And of course, watch along tomorrow, City v Wolves, man. And the Arsenal game as well. I'm going to do the Arsenal game as much as you guys won't want me to do it. I'm going to do it. Big up to you guys for jumping on. Big up to everyone in the chat. Make sure you smash a like. Make sure you subscribe. And just remember, guys, it's just a rumor. See you later.